everyone, how's it going? Today we're going to do Raise the Hallelujah, so let's get stuck into it. We'll do a full playthrough with the tabs on screen. Then we'll talk about each part and the tone and effects for those parts, and also the complementing theory that will help us to understand what's going on behind those parts. Alright, first things first is gear. So today I'm using my Gretsch G7th Jet FT Players Edition in light blue pearl finish, which is a limited edition finish, so I'm quite happy I scored this. And it's essentially it's a duo jet that's been modernized to be more comfortable and ergonomic for longer playing sessions apparently. So yeah, love this guitar. It is absolutely beautiful. That Gretsch sound, great Gretsch sound. And I'm also using a capo here on the first fret because we're in the key of D flat. Some churches will do, well, probably most churches would do the song in C or D major. So if you're doing it in C major, take the capo off, don't need that. If you're doing it in D flat major, you just, in D major, just bump it up to the second fret. I'm also playing through my Line 6 Helix LT, so my whole rig is that. I'm using my own WGT patch preset, which is free for you and available to download. You just check out the link in the description, or you can click on the video link somewhere there, I don't know, up in the screen, to go check out the full playthrough video, walkthrough video of that preset, which has been getting raving reviews, 5 stars on my custom tone, and a lot of good feedback from everybody. Alright, let's get on to the playthrough, and then we'll see you back right after this. Alright, I hope that playthrough was really useful and helpful to you. Let's go talk about the song in depth right now. So the first thing that we need to know, like I said before, we're in the key of D flat. Alright, so what does that mean? It means the song has been written in the on the D flat major scale. We need to understand what that is. So the D flat major scale is this. Alright, so it's made up of 7 notes, the 8th note being the same as the first note, or an octave apart, which is what we'll talk about there. We'll talk about more about that later on. And the chords that we use in the song are the 1, the 4, the 5, and the 6. Alright, so it'll be this, that's your 1, which is a D flat major, your 4, alright, G flat major, your 5, A flat major, and the 6 minor, it's your B flat minor. Those are your 4 chords that we use in the song. The other thing is that we're in 82 BPM, so make sure that we set up your delays to be 82 BPM. So the sound that I have, generally speaking, would be this. So I've got a light overdrive, 82 BPM delay, set to dotted 8th notes, and I've got a two stacked reverbs. So my reverbs, one is sort of a cloudy sort of reverb, and the other one is called a particle reverb, which sort of adds a bit more, how do you say, almost a bit of a dirtier sound. So it sounds like this. I know the reverb seems a little bit extreme, but you don't really hear it when you're in the mix level. So if I play a single note, it's got a lot of sustain, and it's got that sort of depth and wetness that you expect from Bethel songs, even like with chords. Okay, so that's what I'm using there. But for most of the rest of this tutorial, I'm going to only be using a clean sound, because there's really no need to be explaining things with all those effects on. Alright, now let's look at the parts. So the verses. Now the verses generally are a palm muted 16th rhythm. So we know we're just sitting on the, for the intro and the verse 1, we're just sitting on the 1 the whole time. So 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, right? So that's how we count 16ths. We know with quarter notes would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16ths. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a, right? And then the other thing, because we're combining 2 guitar parts into one, we just make it a little bit more complex. What we're doing is we're sort of playing around the major third and sus4 on the D flat. So that's your major third, D flat, upper major third to F, right? And then in between going to the sus4 there, right? So it's a D flat and a G flat. Right, now we're sort of, so the idea behind that is that the first 2/16 of every measure, we're going to go 2 downstrokes to play those intervals, like that, right? On. And then we'll continue playing the palm muted root note there. So that's what's going on there. Now, before we go into the chorus, we'll jump back into verse 2. Now we're going to go, it's pretty much the same idea, except we're changing the root note of each chord. So we know that in this first 2 chords will be the 1 to the 4 to the 6 and then 5, right? So we're going to now play the 16th palm muted note in each of those root notes. So to the 4, right, and so forth. Then to the 6, still counting 16ths. Then what we're going to do now is just add on the chord strum on the start of on each chord change, right? So we let it ring out and then keep playing the palm muted. So it'll be the to the 4. Six, and then finally the 5. Okay, that's the idea of, and then like I said, we're combining 2 different guitar parts into one. So the second half of verse 2, we're going to use the octaves. Like I mentioned before, octaves are just an interval of 2 notes where the first is the beginning of the major scale and the one's the last of the major scale. So D flat and then the higher D flat, right? And then we're using that octave shape to play the line. Now, when we play octave lines, always mute the string in between with your index finger, so it sounds like that when I play through the notes. Right? Okay, so that's essentially what we're doing there. Alright, let's look at the chorus. So now chorus, once again, it's important to get our 16th counting correct. So the idea of the chorus, we're playing arpeggiated lines, which are sort of very similar to the chords that have been played. So the first one will be, right, which is kind of like your, like a G flat major 7 sort of sound. And then we got the very similar sounding, just changing the notes up a little bit, and then the last bit will be like your whole, your A flat sus4 sus. Right, and the important thing with the timing here is that you're playing on the second 16th note of the measure when you start the line. So that'll be the E. So 1 E and 2 E and right? So 1. Alright, 1. Now I'm just obviously emphasizing how we're not playing on the first 16th beat of each measure there. And then obviously at the end we're just playing 16th notes there. Alright, so we move on to the bridge now. And the bridge once again is using a descending D flat line with some minor third voicings in there, so it sounds like this. We're in the 6th position, so right. So the idea, I'm using a D flat major scale in the 6th position, so you will see it on the screen how to play that there. All right, or your minor pentatonic, major pentatonic, which you all should hopefully know by now. Now, so the idea there is we're descending down that major scale, D flat, C, B flat, A flat, right? And then here we go on the D flat again, down an octave. That legato is a minor third legato. So I'm sliding up, playing both notes, sliding back down, and pull off back to the D flat. Okay, that's essentially what I'm doing there. Alright, the last bit, the very last bit, is your whole, in the outro, they're doing the whole U2, Where the Streets Have No Name sort of vibe. And it's based again, once again, on the D flat chord with like a sus4. It's pretty much sort of a theme, I guess, in the song. So we look at the D flat chord, right? This is all the way up here on the 11th fret, start the root. I'm using the shape. So it's your D flat, there's your like a D flat sus4, and then in the last chord it will play like a D flat, like add 9 sort of sound. Alright, so yeah, that's essentially what you're doing, but of course if you had your tone on, it would sound a bit like. I'm just kidding. Alright. Well, look, honestly, that was it. I hope that was all very useful to you. That's a full-blown lesson. If you got any questions, comments, feedback, please let me know down below. I would love to hear from you, and I hope it was truly a blessing to you. We'll see you next time. Catch ya.